Hi, I'm Melinda Earl, and I started StoneImpressions in 2003. My background is in art, and it was out of that work that I became interested in printing on materials like cement, plaster, and marble. The small abstract still life panels that I was making were popular, and I had a hard time keeping up with the demand. So I figured if I could print the painted parts, I could make them more quickly. I began experimenting with different printmaking methods. After about a year and a lot of trial and error, I developed a process to do it. Because I had a young daughter to support at that time, I was looking for ways to produce more reliable income. And that was the beginning of my first business called Photostone. I reproduced images for professional photographers onto marble. I ran it out of my garage, which was great because it allowed me to be home with my daughter. I'd work in the morning before she woke up and also when she was at preschool. Eventually though, it got to be too much to run out of the garage, so I rented the only place I could afford, a 3,000 square foot space in a tin building built during World War II. No air conditioning, no heat, and we could never plug in more than 4 things at once or a fuse blew. I also hired my first employees, 3 of who still work with me. In 2003, I received a patent on the process, and we began thinking about starting a second company which would make murals. I figured I could paint them, then we would take a scan of the artwork and then reproduce the image on tile. Now we just needed to find somebody to sell them to. So we rented a 10 by 10 foot booth at a trade show that a local tile store had told us about called Coverings. The catalog that I brought to that show was a 3-ring binder filled with pages that I had printed out on my desktop printer. Between my newly hired sales rep Paula and myself, we knew nothing about the tile industry. Her work experience had been in Nordstrom's, and of course I'd been an artist. But sometimes ignorance is bliss, so off we went. We had the worst location possible, and across the aisle from us was the backside of a ceramic company's huge booth. So basically we looked at a big white wall for the whole show. We ended up learning a lot though from the people who did wander by, and we signed up 30 new dealers willing to take us on. That was the official beginning of StoneImpressions.